Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Any declarations of pecuniary interest?
No.
No. So we need to make a motion to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting.
I move.
Linda, Susan.
I'll second it.
Okay. Business arising. I got pages of the stuff. First thing I'd like to mention is there are some of the things that were in the previous meeting we changed, most of which was on the registration form that I sent out. The registration form now reads, instead of the 1st to the 8th, it now reads the 2nd to the 9th. We changed that because of the holiday in there, and we couldn't guarantee that we could have the city venues as it was a holiday. The other thing that was changed, we'd put on there registration by November the 1st. We changed that to October the 1st. And we had the fee would go up on January the 1st to $400. We changed that to October 1st. It would go up. After October 1st, it would go up to $400. We also had in there, no, we also added after January 1st, a $50 fee would apply.
Mm-hmm.
We also said in the last minutes that we would not offer a tour to Niagara Falls. We'd give people information on how they could get there themselves. However, we did put that question on the registration form, and so far 75% of people have said they will go for the increase in fee of $100 up to $169. So, and it's no big deal for us to organize it because it's all done by the bus company and everybody signs up by themselves. You will all know by now that I organized with Mike Betts to have the registration form put on the website, and we opened that up to delegates last Friday, which was the 19th, I think. Well, I'm very pleased to tell you that we have 31 people registered already. I was absolutely shocked. They kept coming and coming and coming, as Casey knows. She filled up my inbox very fast.
So where was most of them from?
Yeah.
I gonna say Connecticut always seemed to be the ones with the biggest group.
And
Yeah.
that's not the case. The case is we've got 10 people from Australia.
Oh,
Yeah. 8 from PEI, 6 from the UK, and 7 from Connecticut. And that's as of this morning. I received 3 more this morning. So that brings a total of 31.
Yeah.
So, and obviously nothing from New Zealand, which again is very disappointing. I'll fill you in about New Zealand in a little while. Earlier this month, I'd asked people who had said they would host in 2020 if they were prepared to host again in 23. The first response I felt was good. However, there are still some who did not respond. Some are not sure, and some outright no. But we also have a couple of new ones as well. So right now, the I can't remember the exact number of beds that we have available. It was something like 26 from 16 hosts. So I really feel once we get into it in the new year, then we'll have a good turnout.
How many of the registered people need hosts?
All of them.
Oh.
No, that's not true. 2 of them from Connecticut are going to find their own space.
If they find their own space, they have to pay for it themselves. Is that correct?
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, I've notified the mayor's office and we are in the notes for the new mayor. And also the mayor's PA is retiring, so she's made sure she's got lots of notes there for whoever the new PA will be. Maybe Casey's going to try apply for the job. I've reserved the auditorium, and what we agreed on, because I was told the city doesn't know yet if the spaces will be available because they haven't opened public spaces yet. So anyway, what we've done, we've got our name in for the whole week of the reunion, so we can use that space if it's opened up, and we could get first choice of dates. And we don't know at this point whether the mayor's office will pay for our civic lunch reception at this point until the new mayor is in place. I think I said last time that we didn't know what was going to happen with our Indigenous experience because Candice could no longer commit to doing it. Well, she has put us in touch with a new person, and that person has agreed to host it for us. And hopefully I'm going to meet up with her the end of September, October to discuss it. And I've invited Susan along as well, and we'll go meet her either out in Kettle Point or she will come here when I hear what her preference is. New Zealand. As you know, I've been very concerned that we were losing New Zealand and they wouldn't be around to host the reunion when it became their turn. I contacted the previous leader, who was Gloria Webby, and their current contact, Mary Detling, and I suggested they contact the group, the Stratford Shakespeare Trust, which is a group in Stratford, New Zealand, who they put on a festival once a year, usually in April. They did that. They took my idea and they did that. And their president, his name is Dixon Lobb, and his committee agreed to take over the Stratfords of the World committee. However, he agreed to it. They've agreed to work together to make the transfer, and I've heard nothing from them since. So I really don't know. I do have one contact in New Zealand. Some of you will probably know Peter Deeth, and he's very, very active. And anything if I want something done, if I say, do you want to contact them and see if they've got anybody to register, he will do that. So I don't even know if their delegates have received the registration form at this point. but I won't bother contacting them until just before the October deadline. Okay, so that's all. Does anybody have anything else to update that I've missed?
Let me point out that
All right.
I printed some business cards with the vitals about the reunion, the members and the date in particular. And I did some of these for 2020. Of course, nothing happened in 2020, but I've revised it. And what I find is that when I'm talking to people, sometimes things go in one ear and out the other. But to remind them, you can give them one of these cards, and that tends to keep things on their minds. So I can print out as many as are needed. Just let me know, and I will make some for you.
Who would we
I
give
had
it?
some of yours last time, Ken, and I did hand them out, and it was a good point to just sort of remind people of it.
Well, it's when you're talking about something that's going to happen a year from now,
Mhm.
it's hard for people to keep them in mind.
Who would we give them to?
To prospective hosts primarily.
I thought, yeah, okay.
And I'll point out, Dave was in a store the other day, and he was wearing one of his shirts with the logo on from a previous reunion, and somebody asked him, one of the tellers asked him about it. He didn't have the cards with him then, but that's the kind of thing. I was outside doing one of my duties at the Tom Patterson, and somebody was from Stratford, Connecticut, and knew nothing about the group whatsoever. So we exchanged emails, and I put her in touch with the Connecticut. So that kind of thing, always have some in your pocket so it's easy to hand over.
And we want people in our community to know about it too. So
Exactly.
talking about anybody about it, then you give them one of these cards, and that'll keep it in their heads, hopefully.
I've actually talked to a couple of people that happen to be wandering through the park too, and would be interested in being committee members in the future.
Oh,
Ken, while you're talking, do you want to update us on the museum?
well, I think this is good news about the museum because, well, the staff person has changed the museum. The former staff person has moved on to other things. I talked to the new person, and she's keen on getting things happening at the museum. So we talked about various options of, we haven't settled exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, but that would include visiting the museum. And I don't know, are we still thinking about having a barbecue at the?
It's possible. Don't know yet until we get down to nitty gritty.
Well, we can probably have a barbecue there, either in the parking lot, or we can use the new theater, outdoor theater that they have there. And so she's booked us I gave her several of the possible dates that might occur, and she's booked us for them. So that they will be very agreeable. And we talked about admission fees and so on, how much they would charge us for this. And or the former person gave us the standard rate, but but the new person has said, no, give us what you like, but don't, whatever your group can afford. And I think in the proposed budget, there's something like $500 for the museum,
I think that's what I put in there.
which is plenty. And then Joan suggested that when we talked with the other groups about making gifts to us, that we suggest to them that they make a gift to the museum, which would mean we won't have to make a contribution to them necessarily. And it'll be an appropriate thing because they'll be visiting the museum anyway. So I don't know, we need to deal with that, Joan, or?
I think we'll discuss it further before we make a decision and then bring it back to
Okay,
our
it-
committee meeting and vote on it then.
it's-
But
I
right
think
now,
that's a
we've
good
got
idea.
lots of options, so we'll discuss it at one of the planning meetings.
I mean, this seems like an appropriate group to support, especially since they're supporting us. So I'll advocate for that.
And plus you forgot who you were going to ask John Kastner to invite somebody.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say that. This is, it's unlucky to say that something might happen if it doesn't happen. But my thought was this: if they're coming to visit especially the exhibit on Justin Bieber and his career, then it would be nice to have Justin Bieber come to visit us. Museum, and I think we can make that happen. I would like to make that happen. I don't know whether many in our group, in our cohort, will know that much about him, but to be able to go home and say to their grandchildren, guess who I saw? Grandchildren will be impressed.
I was just there last week and they've got a life-size cutout of him that they can have their pictures taken with. So
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
But I think we can make that happen.
Some might remember when we tried to teach Justin about Shakespeare.
Mhm.
Oh, I do. I remember who played Justin. Oh, dear. Okay, anybody got anything else they'd like to discuss? No, okay, we can move on to new business, which is basically the budget. As you know, everything's increased. I've got quotes from various people, and overall, I'd say everything is increased by 10 to 15% over last year. We don't know yet how many people we will be attending, but we had a good start with the 31 registrations. So I've based the numbers on 60 delegates. So our income will be, based on 60, will be $22,500. And that's based on them paying before the, or them committing before the October 1st deadline. We have $9,850 in reserve fund. And so I'm putting in a request for $10,000 for the 2023 budget. That will give us approximately $42,350, and our approximate costs are $42,500. So I'll need a motion for somebody to motion to accept that budget.
I'll second it.
second.
All in favor?
John,
Yes.
I'll put in the request for the $10,000, but I'll also make note that that's over and above the reserve funds.
Oh,
So
yes. Make sure they know that. Yeah, I don't think $200 or $150 would cut it.
just so we're clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they can't reject this budget outright because some of it are ongoing expenses, which includes part of Casey. So they're going to have to give us enough to cover those ongoing expenses every year, right? Well, that's-
Correct. That's not part of your request, though.
You're not. What is this? Part-time salaries and wages?
Yes, but that, you don't have to pay for that budget line.
No,
Nope. I'm free to you.
are. But if we don't have a reunion, like next year.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a budget, and it'll have to cover those items then, right?
Correct, but this is more, you're just requesting a line item, sort of an operating budget for just your committee. That doesn't include admin costs like my wages and paper and supplies and that kind of stuff.
So we don't have to budget for that.
No,
No. Okay.
they'll pay that regardless, I hope.
I would hope so too, or you won't be here.
And I see there's an item for water and snacks. If it were just water, I would offer to provide the water, and I would get some empty bottles and go to the tap.
I'm
and
up
turn it
for
on, and
No,
that is water.
it's just things at the moment until we get down to the nitty gritty. Then
I'm not criticizing. It's just that it's kind of striking that we would have to budget for to providing water to visitors.
okay. Anybody got any more new business? Okay.
Casey, is this budget likely to go through? Are they going to ask questions about it, or will we have to?
It'll be the new council, right, that will vote on this anyway.
I don't suspect, I mean, from Tom's statements, I feel like, I know it is going to be a new council, but I think the city's on board that it's happening in 2023, so
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever said no in the past, so.
Okay, and talking about Tom, he's not here, but I would like it written down that we did say thank you to him because he will no longer be our council representative because he is retiring from council. So yeah, thanks, Tom. He's been behind us all the time, so which has been good. Did you want to mention the renewals now, Casey? I don't think we've got anything else, or should I?
I just want to remind everybody that there's a few members' terms ending and you'll have to reapply. So it's Joan, Susan, Linda, and Kathy. So you can fill out an application anytime. I can send the links out to you. The deadline will probably be sometime in October. And then appointments will be made in November, end of November sometime.
If Wayne and Joyce want to reapply, do they have to put a new one in?
Yeah, every year you have to, yeah.
How many can we have on the committee?
So if they leave everything as is, there are the four that need to reapply, and currently 2 vacant ones, because one wasn't filled and then Polly has resigned. So technically, if they leave it all the same, there should be 6 positions to fill.
But how many can we have all together? Is it 10 or?
You guys.
Well, 6, 7,
8.
8, 9
Just
with a
8?
counselor.
Oh,
Yeah,
10 plus a counselor.
9 plus.
they seem to just allow us to have everybody who applies. So
Now you tell me.
Oh, no, you were all selected on the basis of careful scrutiny.
Pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
Right.
A lot of big, outstanding people qualified.
okay, and now I've got the list of who needs to reapply. I'll make sure that you all know, as well as with Casey will let you know.
was it just Ken and I that don't need to reapply this year?
Glad that-
There's
And
only 2
Ginny.
more.
Is Ginny in her second year?
Till 2023 until Mary Ann. So those
Oh,
are
okay,
all to
okay.
reapply.
So it's just the 4 of us,
Yeah.
and you 2 are okay. So June and Ken, you do not have to reapply.
Right. It's a,
Um,
it's a 2-year appointment, right? So every second year you'll have to.
you'd think we'd remembered, but we are all seniors, you know.
Not you, Casey.
That's why she's got to remind us.
Thank goodness.
Okay, date of our next meeting. We're not going to meet in September simply because I'm away and Susan's away.
Right.
And we cannot meet because of the election in October, November. So it's going to be December. We will have planning meetings probably here in between. But again, I'll have to work that out with us going away, see what we can work out. But I'm going to suggest December the 8th or the 15th. It depends on how close to Christmas you want to be.
Eve is fine with me.
Fine for me too.
To be okay.
The earliest in December, that way it won't be as far apart.
What day of the week would that be? Would it be a Thursday?
It's a
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, so shall we say the 8th, 3
Yeah.
o'clock?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
And I doubt we'll know who our new council representative is by that time, will we? So,
We may not know anything in December, actually, because I'm thinking maybe Tatiana said it would be the beginning of December that the new council meets, so the appointments won't
Okay.
even be made. We'll know by January.
well, I did read somewhere that the budget won't be approved until February.
Yeah, usually it's the beginning of the year, the first couple
Yeah.
of months, yeah.
Okay,
I-
so if we don't get that money, everybody else is going to have to pay a little bit more, but we'll worry about that when and if it happens.
I presume this is up to the province to set these timetables and not the city. But if it is up to the city, I would like to suggest to them that they might consider the fact that some organizations are operating like we are throughout the year and can't afford to not to have any activity during several months of the year. So
Well,
that's
Better write a letter, Ken.
well, I don't know. I presume it's a matter for the province. But if it's not, then
I don't know. I
all right, well, I'll do something.
write to the city clerk, she'll tell you.
For everyone whose appointments are ending in November, it's until successors are appointed. So don't worry about the December meeting. It'll stay as it is until it changes.
Okay, anybody got anything else? We good? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second.
Second. Okay,